Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon for those of us on the East Coast. And you all know who I am by now. I'm Dr. Maisha, and I help doctors and medical professionals create profitable businesses from what they already know. And so this is day 4 of week 2 of our series, Thriving Beyond the Box, Thriving Beyond COVID. And as I have been talking about, it's a very interesting time that we're living in, and a lot of the reason that I decided to do this series is because of all of the influx of docs that I talk to, all the chatter that I hear about docs wanting to step out. They want to step out of the box. They want to start their own practices, coaching, consulting, integrative medicine, telemedicine practices. And so last week we talked about telemedicine. This week we are talking about cash-based practices. Let's jump right in. Before we do, if you're listening to me live, go ahead and share this video with someone who you think it would be valuable with, someone whom you know is trying to step outside the box and start their own practice. And if you're listening to me live on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified every time I post a new video or do a new live. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. Day 1, we talked about determining the type of cash practice that you want, whether it be direct primary care, otherwise known as DPC, or concierge medicine model, and or whether you do a fee-for-service type of model practice, like a straight fee-for-service cash-based practice. And then day 2, we kind of distinguished a little bit more those models and broke it down into the types of pricing models based on the practice model. So we've got day 1, we talked about the cash-based model and what types there are and distinguish what they are. And day 2, we talked about the pricing models that are connected to those and which pricing models that you choose, whether it be pure cash, hybrid insurance, or hybrid package model, fee-for-service package-based model. And then day 3, we talked about how you determine what types of services you want to incorporate in, because of course, depending on the type of model that you are implementing, you might want to choose particular services. So today, I want to talk a little bit about space. And it's interesting because oftentimes when docs are starting their own practices, they feel like they have to get these really super large premium spaces or even buy whole buildings in order to start a practice. And really, that's the opposite of true. You should consider, depending on the type of practice that you're starting, what you need. What are the essentials of what you need in the space and inside of your practice, and then base the size of your space on that. So for some of my docs who are more their specialties are more procedural, like saying like my derm docs and some OBGYN docs, and especially like the specialty of infertility, or maybe there are like anesthesiologists who are starting their own practices. There may be equipment, there may be things that they need that require them to have a little bit more space. And then there are some of my docs who were straight DPC or integrative medicine or concierge that don't need a lot of equipment to start out, right? So you want to think about what is it that you need to start, and then have your space be according to that. You don't need 10,000 square feet of space to start. You could start with 2,000 or 3,000 square feet of space. And for some docs, especially if you're stepping into a direct primary care type practice, or even an integrative or health coaching or wellness type practice, you might only need 1,000 square feet. So that is the thing you want to think about, is starting small. Like, how can you start small and start workably so that you don't put yourself into an enormous amount of debt? I even consider subleasing, right? So when I first started my practice back in 2007, dating myself a little here, back in 2007, when I started my integrative medicine practice, I actually subleased the space from another physician. Yes. And he just happened to have some extra space, and he gave it to me for a very reasonable price. So imagine you're helping out another doc who has space, and you're also getting space for a reasonable price. You're not locked into a 3 or 5 year lease as with most larger leasing companies or larger buildings. So you want to think about that. I actually ended up transitioning out of that space into a space inside of a wellness center, and continued to grow inside of that space until I could get a space of my own that was, 2 or 3 or 4 thousand square feet. And so, you know, it it really helps you to streamline your overhead when you start small, and be able to redirect that money into what it's really needed, which is the marketing, the thing that will grow the practice. So invite you to consider, as you're looking for space, to start small. They say start low, go slow. Start small, and consider what is the minimum that you need to accommodate the needs of your practice and the needs of course, the patients. And that doesn't mean you have to choose something that's below, what's the word? It doesn't mean you have to, that is not nice, right? But you can choose something that's small and boutiquey and cute and nice, or savvy or modern, whatever it is, but it doesn't have to be huge. It's all going to be in the way that you set it up and you decorate it and you utilize the space in itself, right? The value the value comes in, although you want to create a nice environment for your patients, the true value comes in the service that you're going to provide. So start small, start simple, and grow as you grow the practice. And so that is what I wanted to share today. This is a fairly quick and to the point message for the day. Consider even getting creative when it comes to space. Consider subleasing, looking for other doctors who may want to lease space, looking for other practitioners who may not be in your specialty, or who may be in the same health industry, and maybe they're not allopathic, but maybe they're integrative. So think about that when you're looking at space too. Don't lock yourself into, it's got to be another doctor. Perhaps it's another health practitioner that needs to lease space that you can step into, right? So consider all of those things when you're looking for space, and, start small, get creative, and grow the space as you grow your practice. All right. That is what I wanted to share with you today. I want to know what your takeaways are, not only from today, but what are your takeaways from this week, where this is the conclusion of this week's lives. And tomorrow, of course, I will post an overview, as I have done in the past Fridays. And so, but post in the comments what your takeaway, what actions are you going to take in order to move the needle? And, you know, by now, some of you already know that this is the path for you. You already know that you want to start your own practice, be it direct cash-based, direct primary care, concierge. You already know this. And if you do know this and you know you need some guidance, then I invite you to book a call with me. Go on the phone with me, and let's work out together a strategy and a plan moving forward. Or you can just check out, and you can check out the curriculum that's available through our MedE University. We did a 14-day free trial. And you can do that by going to medeu.nextlevelphysicians.com. And if you want to book a strategy call with me, you can do that by going to drmaisha.com/meet me. So go ahead, post in your comments. What did you get from today? What questions do you have? And I will be manning them. I will answer the questions that come up. And I look forward to seeing you on next week's lives. Next week, we're going to be talking a little bit about integrative medicine, or I'm going to do coaching consulting. I think it's integrative medicine. I'm pretty sure it's integrative medicine. So you want to stay tuned for next week, especially if you're interested in starting an integrative practice. I'm going to give you some things to think about. And as always, You know how you can reach me if you need me. Book a call. The link is right on the screen, or check out our Medi University. That's mediu.nextlevelphysicians.com. Y'all have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week. Remember to share this video with someone who you think would be valuable, someone you know is on the path to starting their practice or starting their own outside the box clinical, non-clinical, or clinically adjacent business. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next set of video next week. All right, y'all have a great rest of the week, and namaste.